Hey guys, Andrew Team Triple Drive here, and look, I've got a new mat! Basically got a new mat because I was at the sneak peek that happened recently, you know, the Set 8 sneak peek, and they were giving out random mats. If you want to know what happened in the sneak peek, watch Team DP's video. Basically, I joined sneak peek, came 5th place, took all the really cheap stuff because I already got the expensive one anyway, and yeah, so I got a new mat. Cool. So today guys, we're going to talk about my Mega Fleck Cat Butler deck. Now, I must say this first, this is not the first time I've owned this deck. As in, this is not the first time I've owned this exact deck. Almost card for card. There's some cards that are different obviously, because I trade it off to someone else to get it back. But most cards are still there. By someone else, I mean Butler Terror. Basically what happened was, I traded this deck off for a Dotex deck, because I built it during Legion Saga, and of course that lasted for 5 whole minutes. And Just Break 1 came out, which means Dotex was king, so I traded off for that. I traded Dotex and Great Nature from Bermuda Triangle with 4 SPs. Those SPs became other cards for other decks. I ended up trading my Sinbuster deck for this Mega Flip Capital deck, which was in absolute pieces. And the 2 other decks, I traded off those 2 decks of points to get money to buy all the Link Joker stuff, and also to get the cards to finish off this deck. But so yeah, that was the story of the Mega Fleck Cat Butler deck, and now it's come back to me, and that's why we're owning this, because it's Mega Fleck Cat Butler. That is why. And so to start off of this atrocity of a deck, I will show you the starter, shouldn't I? And my starter is obviously Transmigrating. Oh Jesus Christ, this name's annoying. Transmigrating Evolution Mirayo. Now what this does is you can blast 1, put it into the soul, check top 5 cards of grade 3, and add 1 to hand. I use this card mainly because, hello, grade 3 add to hand, because as you know, in a Mega Fleck Cat Butler deck, you're running less grade 3s in order to put the Cat Butlers in. As you know, Cat Butler's grade 0, so you want to take out cards from grade 1, 2s and 3s to incorporate them. And so, this card basically goes around the problem of having less grade 3s in the deck, which allows me to pull off the crazy combos you can do with it. But that's my starter anyway. Now for my trigger lineup, the trigger lineup I run is 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal, and they are as follows. I run firstly 4 Red Lightning, 4 Meteor Kaiser, 4 Schneeregen, and 4 Regenbogen. So instead of running Rainbow format, I run this specific format because the crit is designed with the on-hit pressure and the attacking pressure near the end game, which in a Mega Fleck Cat Butler deck you all know exactly what it's going to be. And when I run the draw power to eat into my deck to find the Cat Butlers, for obvious reasons, because it's a Mega Fleck Cat Butler deck. Now all the triggers are vanilla except for Red Lightning, and what Red Lightning does is, when it's on Rhaegar Circle, you may put it into the soul and countercharge 1. This is very good because in decks that are heavily based on strides, such as the Victor deck and maybe Beast Deities, basically Beast Deities is more about the break ride than anything else. But as you know, they're quite counter heavy, counter blast heavy. Mega Flare is an exception if you play it very smartly, but you would rather have them just in case you go a bit too overboard with the counter blast, especially when you play against Link Joker and entirely dependent on one specific card, which you will see later on. And this card, I have to admit, is very hard to get now because of how useful it is in decks, and because of that, they can go for ridiculous prices on eBay. I was lucky because someone pointed it out, and I came in and got them as soon as I realised it. And I'm quite happy with the layout anyway. It's pretty good layout. People ask why you run extra criticals, well the draws are there because you want to draw the hand you want. And when you reach the point of the end game, it doesn't matter because if they survive that Mega Fleck Cat Butler turn, you're not going to survive. But anyway, that is my trigger lineup. And for my last grade 0, well, my last 4 grade 0s, because I ran 21 in this deck, I run 4 Cat Butler. Now, for those who know what Cat Butler does, it's got an auto when it's on the Vanguard circle, and its skill is, at the end of the battle your Vanguard has attacked, you may retire this unit and choose a grade 2 or lower Vanguard and stand it. Now, I run this card for, well, just to fill the deck, really. Why do you think I run? So, now moving on to my grade 1 lineup. Now, my grade 1 lineup is kind of weird, but it makes sense for the deck it is. My grade 1 lineup is the following. I run 2 Energy Charger, 3 Extreme Battler Rashid, 4 Screaming and Dancing Announcer Shout, and 4 Lady Cyclone. Now I run 2 energy charges in here, mainly because, well, 2 is always nice to have, and it's a Soul Blast 2 draw card. So I run it 4, which allows me to go into 1 card deeper into the deck, bearing in mind I have enough soul, which allows me to draw into the Grappler far quicker for, obviously, the kill turn. And I run 2 because, well, Red Lightning, one of the Red Lightning's a thing, and I don't need them that bad because I have other cards eat into the deck anyway, including Triple Drive. But he's there because, well, an extra card in hand is nice, and you know, like that combo turn 2 and use the Grade 3 Searcher followed by Energy Charger, that's a nice combo to have as well. But anyway, other than that, I also run 3 Extreme Battle Rashids, and they are the Stride Enablers of the deck. That's why I run them. They're 3 Stride Enablers, and I use them in the deck with Stride into other cards. I do not run Extreme Battle Victor in this deck because not enough room, for obvious reasons. But he's just there because, well, Stride Enabler, that's what he is really. I also run 4 Screen Decks Announcer Shout, and he's a weird choice to have in this deck. And I have tried decks without him, but I've always kept this guy in the deck. It's mainly because of his skill, which is an act, you rest the unit, use a card from your hand and ditch it, and you draw a card. This may not sound as good, but when you have draw triggers in hand and they're not that useful in hand, they're good for draw on your drive checker, but when they're in hand, are useful. So you use this card to rest it, ditch your card to eat into your deck to get another card in hand that'll be slightly better credit trigger, or, you know, a Cath Butler for the kill turn. Finally, I'm running 4 Lady Cyclones. Now, Lady Cyclones on here because the counter charging perfect yards. Because, as I said for Red Lightnings, this deck is very counterblast heavy in terms of strides. Although the Mega Flare Cat Butler deck doesn't use strides doesn't use counterblasting that much, the strides will. But anyway, that is my grade 1 lineup. As you can see, there's only 13 there. And so my grade 2 lineup is kind of just as weird, really. So yeah, I said the grade 2 lineup was kind of just as weird. That's mainly because I run 10. Although the lineup itself is completely understandable. Now for the lineup, I run 2 Cool Hank. I want to go over here. I run 4 Phoenix Riser Flame Wing. And 4 Ultimate Riser Dual Flare. Now, I run Cool Hank in the deck because he's pretty much almost a complete staple in the deck. I mean, the only difference probably be the Beast deities, but I think they bought their own version. I don't know. I only really play Victor and the Mega Flare Cat Butler deck. But Cool Hank is pretty good. His skill is, when it attacks a Vanguard, if it is on boost, you counterblast 1, choose one of your other rear guards, restand it, and that gains 5k. This allows, obviously, for having 3 attacks, a 4th attack, and for once in counterblast when you're using it, it's pretty insane itself. Now, really, the main reason I use 2 in the deck is because, well, I barely see him anyway, and the other cards take higher priority over him in this deck, specifically. And those other cards are Phoenix Riser Flamewing. Phoenix Riser Flamewing is, if your Vanguard has Riser in its name, which it will because it's the Mega Flare Cat Butler deck, it will gain an extra 3k to attack with, so it becomes 12k attacker. That's what he's in there. He's pretty much a core of most of my attacks, and he carries the deck on until the kill turn, which is then replaced by the other grade 2, which is Although it's not the only Legion mate in here, it's the only Legion mate that actually will lead you with anything, due to my lineup, which you'll see afterwards. And its skill is, during the turn that you Legion, regardless if it's in hand or on the field, it's only during the turn you Legion, against the ability of when your Vanguard in Legion attacks your opponent's Vanguard, it restands and gains an additional 5k. And this is pretty good because, well, okay, it becomes a 9k attack to a 14k attacker, but that's an extra attack you have on top. And the choice is, you will have this guy on the field in your kill turn, while using all your Phoenix Risers to whittle them down using your strides. And because of that, this lineup, I do quite like it. I still run this lineup. I have experimented, trying to take cards out, but at the moment, this lineup is pretty solid for me. Anyway, I should now move on to the grade 3s. So, for my grade 2s, I only run 6. That's mainly because I need to clear out some room for the Cat Butlers. Hence why my trigger lineup, my grade 1 and 2 lineup are kind of less than what they should be. And well, for that I run the following, because to me it made sense at the time. I run firstly 2 Ultimate Riser Glory Hand and 4 Ultimate Riser Mega Flare. Now if I go into Mega Flare, I'm going to go into Glory Hand first. Asking me, Andrew, why are you running Glory Hand and not running Drill Wing, for example? I'm like, well, 1, Drill Wing requires Cat Blast, so no, not really. And 2, have you guys actually read Glory Hand and what it does? Now it's got a Legion, it's a Legion, and a Legion's with Ultimate Riser Speedster and Ultimate Riser Dual Flare. So it has 2 Legion mate, and so because of that, I only have to run Dual Flare in the deck for it to Legion with, which is a-okay for me. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't actually own any of the Legion mates of this card. Like that's what I like about this card. Like, I don't need the Legion mate of the card at all for it to work. And plus, this Legion mate requires a full Riser deck for it to work anyway. But its actual skill is an axe skill. What it does is, when it's a Vanguard circle, you Soul Blast 1, and you have another unit in the middle column, it gains 2k at the end of the turn, making it a 13k attack on its own or a 22k attacker in Legion. And because Soul Blast 1 you can do as many times as you want, I never use the skill because I use it for the main skill, which is when another unit with Rise in its name stands, your Vanguard will have the ability to give that unit that stood additional 5k if your Vanguard's in Legion. And bearing up, so for example, if Vanguard restood, the Vanguard skill will activate, giving that unit 5k if it has Rise in its name. Which means that, well, more power. So instead of getting the 5k with the restand from Cool Hank, I can get a 10k restand because, well, unless I restand in Cool Hank, which is no point, I'll be restanding one of the other Legion mates. And bearing in mind, this is any unit. This includes, well, its Legion mate, as it's not considered its own unit, where, as you know how Mega Flare Cat Butler works, this is good. It's not as good as Mega Flare Cat Butler, as your opponent needs to be in 5 damage for this to have a kill turn. But when you restand, free trigger. Like, you're not going to complain about that, effectively. And then we go to the main event himself, Ultimate Riser Mega Flare. Ultimate Riser Mega Flare is a Legion card that Legions with Ultimate Riser Dual Flare. See why Dual Flare is really good now in this deck? And what it does is pretty good. A secondary skill is, if this unit hits a Vanguard, you have another unit rising its main in the middle of the column, you may choose one of your opponents. You may choose one of your rear guards and restand it with has to have Rise in the same. So basically, when it's a Legion, it attacks. If it hits, because you have Rise in the same columns there, because Legion may count as another Riser card, choose one of your rear guards, restart Riser, restand it. So basically, this turns your 4 attacks. This turns into, well, if you say Cool Hanks on the field, your 4 attacks into your 5 attacks, which will scare the opponent. And that's the reason why this deck is scary. The reason this card is scary. And the reason this card is scary is because of the main skill, which is when it's in Legion, and you have 4 or more rear guards at rest, it gains critical. Now, of course, this would be your third attack, well, third to fourth attack, but you have to hang on the field or not. But you attack with this unit, all units would be at rest, it gains a critical, which means you're attacking with 20 to 25k with critical to your opponent, and if they don't fall damage, that's effectively a kill turn, and they're going to have to stop that. And of course, with Cat Butlers at rest in the back row, they are going to brick themselves. But that's my grade 3 lined up. Now I shall move on to the strides. See you in a bit. Now for my stride zone, it's a bit weird. I run the cards are kind of a weird thing, but it'll make sense when I tell you what they're there for and why I run them. Also, secondly, you need to know is this is not a full G zone. This is only 14 cards, 16. All it's missing are G Guardians from a future Nova Grappler set. I don't know what they're going to be, but from a future Nova Grappler set. Anyway, for my G zone, I run the following. I run 3 Meteor Kaiser Busted, 4 Meteor Kaiser Victor Plasma. Let me actually get them to view. I run 4 Meteor Kaiser Victor, 1 Elements of Breeze, and 2 Righteous Superhuman Blue Prison. Now I'll start the top row first. So the first 3 cards I run are Meteor Kaiser Busted. This is the first try to go into usually, and its skill is, in my opinion, pretty good. And what it does is when it attacks, you can make Counter Blast 1 and turn a card in G zone face up. And if you do, you choose one of your rear guards equal to the number of Meteor Kaiser Busted face up and restand it. Then, if the number of rear guards you restood is 2 or more, and your field has 5 or more rear guards on it, you may restand the Vanguard and again strike check -2 for a Counter Blast 1 and for an additional Counter Blast 1 and discard 2 cards. This card is pretty good because I do like it because of what it does. It allows you for more field attack and more hit pressure. Its cost is pretty much the same as Victor Plasma, although the way it drive checks is a bit different, which gives more pressure on the first one than the second one. But it's Victor Plasma with rear guard restands, and that's what you want really. I run 3 of them because you only actually need 2 rear guards to stand and a full field for restand ability anyway. Hence, I only run 3. Fourth one replaces a breeze, which I'll get into later. Also, I run 4 Meteor Kaiser Victor Plasma. Now, he is the big boy Nova Grapplers when they first came out in G set 1. And his skill is an act. Counter Blast 2, choose Meteor Kaiser, face down your G zone, turn the face up. It gains the ability to dry check -1, and after it's attacked, it may restand at the cost of discarding 2 cards and attack again. This is very good for Link Joker matchups as it's only this card and Dragonic Overlord the Ace, which is a carbon copy of this card, are the only 2 cards that exist that can restand entirely on its own benefits. Like, well, it doesn't require rear guards for it to restand, which is why it's very good. Hence, against Link Joker, it's a good matchup because, well, you're still getting your multiple drive checks, you're still getting your multiple attacks, and your opponent, unless they're deleters, actually not even then, they can't do anything about it, unless your opponent is obviously Mega only, which is going to make you cry anyway. And I run 4 Meteor Kaiser Victors because 1, it's effectively a costless stride. What it does is it's an act, turn a copy of itself face up. When this unit attacks, choose one of your rear guards, restand it, that gains 5k on hit, and at Generation Break 3, choose one of your rear guards and stand it up, and that gains 5k straight up. So so at Generation Break 3, it will restand 1 unit guaranteed, with the potential of standing up 2 units, which is what Busted does. Although it doesn't do the restanding itself, it's effectively costless, which is very good against opponents which have rear guard stun control, which is like, well, Meg only without your machining destroyers or your stun beetles and stuff like that. Which If they're not running any of those two cards, I don't know what they're doing. And for my last stride, I run Elements of Breeze, and he's there because I run Direction Break. And well, what he does is kind of obvious. He's Counterblast 2. One of your opponents on Grade 2 hasn't ridden last turn. You Counterblast 2, discard a card, and stride into this card. He's there for an early stride. I will almost not use him, as most people in the card shop don't play that way anymore. They're either going to play the Grade 1 game or they're going to play properly, which the Grade 1 game is kind of scummy, which is why no one wants to play there. But I run him in here, and well, he's fodder for Meteor Kaiser Busted when I don't use him. Well, because I run Cool Hank, that's why he's in the deck. And finally I run Righteous Superhuman Blue Prison. And he's a G-Guardian, which when you got into him, if your damage is more or equal to the opponent, then it gains additional 5k. This is kind of a cheat because, well, Angel Feather should have this, but they don't, and I don't know why. If you don't know what the Angel Feather does, is if you have 4 more damage against plus 5k, they should be swapped around, because this sounds more an Angel Feather skill than anything else. But it's alright. I use him in G-Guard, but I barely use him because, well, I eat on my deck so much I have enough guard anyway, and then the opponent goes for the kill turn. Well, and speaking of which, let's show you that kill turn. Sorry about that. If you see the light difference, it's because my camera basically went, I'm out of battery, so I had to charge it for a bit. So, sorry about that. So, I'm now going to show you the combo which is used in this deck, and for this combo to work, you prefer to have Mega Flare on the field, but Glory Hand is fine. The only difference is you need your opponent to be on 1 extra damage if you have Glory Hand on the field than Mega Flare. For this turn, you want your opponent to be on 4 damage at this point. You only need 1 Counter Blast to work the entire combo out. Yeah, and you also need the Injection Break 1, which is shown by this perfect card here. But during when the game works, you will have more cards anyway. Facing G-Zone anyway. And for your hand, you will want to have the following. You will want 1 Cool Hank, 1 Auto Advisor Dual Flare, and 3 Cat Butlers. Face up. 3 Cat Butlers. You also need 4 cards in the drop zones, 4 heals there. And it doesn't matter whether the cards in your hand are actually on the field or not. Just in your hand now, because as you'll see why in a bit. So the first thing I would do, in my personal opinion, would be to Legion. So Legion these 4 heals back in the deck to search for my Auto Advisor Dual Flare. It's Legion together. You can do this at any point before you actually start attacking. It's just to make sure you guarantee your Legion out there. And then from your hand, you'll call out the cards in the your front row will be Cool Hank and Auto Advisor Dual Flare respectively. And your back row, you're going to have your 3 Cat Butlers. Now, this is because this is the turn you Legioned. Dual Flare skill activate, which means when your Vanguard attacks, it will restand. It only happens once per turn, but it will restand regardless. And so for this combo, the first thing you'll do is you'll attack with the Dual Flare column. On its own, attack the opponent's Vanguard. So that'll be 14k to the Vanguard. This is only a 5k guard, which is fine, but most likely at this point they're going to try and guard it anyway because they got the Mega Flare to survive. They'll try to guard that, so they'll still be on 11k. Then you'll attack with your Cool Hand column. Oopsie. And that will attack your opponent. You'll activate skill, which means you'll Counterblast 1. Choose this unit, restands, and that gains 5k. So Dual Flare will become a 14k attacker on its second attack. They'll also guard this one again because I said they want 4 damage, they want to survive. And so for your third attack, you'll attack with Auto Advisor Dual Flare. Again, for another 14k. Of course, because the situation they're in, they're going to want to, guard this attack. And then this where it becomes fun. For your 4th attack, you'll attack with your Vanguard, and you will attack with your Mega Flare Cat Butler column to your opponent. I will do this for now because you'll see why. And while it's doing attacks, the skill Dual Flare will activate. It will restand and gain additional 5k, so that becomes a 19k on its own. Then at this point, if your opponent takes the attack, and you'll do then Twin Drive. If he survives, you'll have your Vanguard attacking. But if they're not, you'll retire, Grappler will restand again. So for example, here I'd attack normally, and I'll Twin Drive, so you get a crit and a crit. And I'll go into your hand obviously. And so let's say if they guarded, you'll push all effects, you put all the criticals and a power to the Vanguard, power to your Vanguard. You choose one of your Cat Butlers, most likely the one behind the Vanguard, retire it, and restand the Vanguard. Then you'll attack with your authorized Dual Flare. That'll attack for anywhere between 19 to 21, depending. So your Vanguard starts 10, 15k guarding the guard again, and shell out, got that. And then you'll attack your Vanguard again. Which of course you'll attack the Vanguard, you'll get your Twin Drive, so you'll crit and another crit. They go into your hand. And if the attack hit, you could choose your Dual Flare and restand it. If not, you retire Cat Butler to restand it again. Then this will attack the Vanguard again. So your opponent's guarding his attacks. Bearing in mind, every time it attacks, you're putting all, anytime you drive check, put all effects on the Vanguard. So it will be attacking originally with 2 critical to the Vanguard. Now then it will be attacking with 4. This is 6. This is 6 critical with an extra 15k on top. So 35k, 6 critical. That's assuming you get drive checks constantly. But either way, you attack on this column again, so you can drive check again. And you get another critical, and another one. You put all effects in on the Vanguard. If they guard the attack, obviously Dual Flare will stand up to attack again. If not, you retire your last Cat Butler to restand your Vanguard for a final time. At this point you are on about what, 45 to 50k on your Vanguard, with 8 critical attacking your Vanguard, what time attacks your Vanguard, which is very large and very difficult to guard against. And at this point, Twin Drive, at this point they will not have the cards to guard, they'll have to take this, and they've lost at this point anyway, because they've mostly gone through the heal triggers already to survive previous turns. And so you can Twin Drive, crit and crit. You usually put all the criticals on here and your power to this Vanguard, because if they do take the hit and they manage to survive, which, well, you've got 8 criticals at hand, it's pretty much impossible, you can choose your Vanguard, because it hit, choose your Vanguard and stand it up. Assuming that hit, and that was already 21k beforehand, you put an extra 10k, so that's 31k to your opponent's Vanguard and attacking it. So you're basically attacking with massive 8 crit monster, the Mega Flare Cat Butler, with 4 attacks, and you attack with him twice, well, 3 times actually. You attack with him once, so you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9 attacks that turn. So try to make out for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 attacks that turn, which is pretty impressive. And you'll have a large enough hand to basically guard any attack, unless if you get the hand I have, which are grade 0s against cards that restrict grade 0s. Which, let's put it this way, they're not going to have that because you would have destroyed them on this turn anyway. And that is how the Mega Flare Grappler deck works. I don't know if you guys seen this before, but you probably have. This was tier 0 back in the days of the 5-minute Legion saga. And, well, it's still pretty good this day. I have played against their opponent. This is one of the Saki decks I run. And if people don't expect the kill turn, that's the best time to use this deck, because they will not expect the kill turn. And it does scare them. But anyway, that's this is Andrew0572, Team Triple Drive. Tell us what you like about it, tell us what you don't like about it, tell us if you think any improvements can be made upon it. And this is Andrew0572, signing out. Have a nice one.